Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, the planet that transforms and changes our lives, known as the god of the underworld, is coming back into Capricorn, my friend. It is retrograding back into the very last degrees of Capricorn and will be here for a total of 9 more months before it finally stays in the sign of Aquarius. So we are finishing out an old era. We are going through a major rebirthing time beginning June 11th, when Pluto goes back to 29 degrees of Capricorn, and 29 degrees is an anaretic degree, meaning it is the place where we have endings, culminations, and I feel this as a completion, especially in the area of soul contracts, those people that we agreed to come and be here with and learn sometimes really tough lessons through. So this is an end of a soul cycle, a major soul cycle for all of us. Pluto can also be transformation through passion, my friend. A passionate relationship, a passionate creative endeavor, or anything that is truly lighting up your heart. Michael Bernard Beckwith says we can either be pulled by passion or pushed by pain. So we have a choice with Pluto energy. We can let go of what is stagnant for us, what is not feeding us, what is draining our energy, and we can say yes to what feels passionate, maybe even a little scary that it's so passionate, so exhilarating. We can say yes to that, and that can pull us forward and transform us in the process. So in this video, I can't wait to share with you what you can expect from this last 9 months of Pluto in Capricorn, how you can best work with the energies with the most ease and grace, who will be most affected by Pluto coming back into Capricorn. And I'll also be sharing with you a very key time this coming summer when Pluto will be squaring the nodes of the moon, and we will have a cardinal grand cross. I'll explain all of that, how we can work with that energy. I have some tips for you on how you can best work with these energies based on my own very difficult Pluto transit when Pluto was opposing my Cancer moon, and what I learned from that I can share with you to hopefully make this finishing out of Pluto and Capricorn easier for you. And as always, I will be doing readings for all 12 signs, including letting you know in which area of your life you can expect to have this transformation. You can expect to possibly have a new truth revealed, and what need, we all have a need during this transit, what need must be fulfilled for you in order for you to be happy. And as always, I'll be pulling an oracle card for each of us. And I always love the magic that comes through the cards. Ultimately, Pluto wants to empower us, my friend. This really is about us reclaiming our power, shedding a skin, coming back into even more so back into the truth of who we are, living more authentically, more freely, and most importantly, more in alignment with our true soul's path. But before I get into that, I want to say hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hello and welcome to those of you who have been loyal watchers of my videos. I so appreciate you. And hello and welcome to my Sunday chat friends. We meet here every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, as my videos go live. And I really so much enjoy communing with all of you. I'm Betsy Gutting. I'm a psychic astrologer, intuitive life coach, and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. And it is my joy, my passion, my dedication to empower you through the astrology, through spiritual principles, through the insights and downloads that I receive intuitively, and Western tropical astrology. So at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my astrology consultations as well as my coaching, so be sure and stay tuned for that. And I also have a free gift for you, which I'll tell you about at the end of the video. So let me give you a brief timeline of Pluto and Capricorn, as well as its ingress into Aquarius, which is the start of a brand new era. And I have a separate video for you on Pluto in Aquarius. I'll be sure to link that below as well. In the big picture, Pluto is an epic transit. Why? Because Pluto takes 248 years to go around the zodiac. It's a 248-year cycle. So we will not have another transit of Pluto in Capricorn again in our lifetimes. Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008, and collectively, and many of us individually, experienced the banking crisis of 2008, the stock market crash, the home loan crisis. And even if you weren't personally affected, didn't have money invested in those kinds of investments, we still all felt this on a global level. We had a huge economic downturn, and it took us years to recover from that. Fast forward to 2020. We had a Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and the events of 2020 changed the world as we knew it. Our world was turned upside down. Capricorn rules government policies, rules, regulations. It is authority from the higher ups down, corporate authority as well as government authority. And we were all affected, of course, by the lockdowns, by the restrictions, by many people being unemployed, many shifting their workspace to working at home, food shortages, toilet paper shortages, new government mandates, and so on. In Laguna Beach, where I lived, they closed the beach for 6 whole months. For 6 whole months, we could not walk on the beach. People stopped hugging each other. People stopped touching. At one point in Southern California, where I lived at the time, there was even a mandate to not sing at a holiday dinner. So everybody was affected in ways that shocked many of us. And of course, those changes also affected our values. Many of us course corrected after that time. Many of us decided that we were going to move to different places. People moved to different states in the US. People moved to different countries. People downsized. A lot of people bought new homes. Many people decided that if they couldn't work at home, they were going to leave their jobs. I mean, so many things were changed for all of us during that time based on our new post-2020 values. So between 2008 and 2023, Pluto in Capricorn went from 0 to 29 degrees. In March of 2023, Pluto moved out of Capricorn and moved on into Aquarius. Pluto will be in Aquarius until June 10th of 2023. On June 11th, Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn. Pluto will be in Capricorn until January 19th of 2024. Then it will go direct in Aquarius. It will retrograde in May and get to 29 degrees of Capricorn in September. So from September until the 3rd week of November, Pluto will finish out its stint in Capricorn. And if all of those dates are making your eyes glaze over or your head a little weary, just know that Pluto is going to be back in Capricorn, finishing out its stint between June 11th and January 20th, and then again between September and November of 2024. Now, because Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, it does change us, it does transform us, especially when it personally touches our natal planets or points. Many of you, I'm sure, are wondering who will be most affected by this transit of Pluto going back into Capricorn the last few degrees. Those of you who have planets or points between 26 and 29 degrees of Capricorn or the other cardinal signs of Cancer, Aries, and Libra, you will be personally most affected. Also, those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 2 degrees of Aquarius or the other fixed signs of Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, you will also, many of you, feel this transit more intensely, more personally. But it's really important to keep in mind that we all have 27 to 29 degrees of Capricorn where Pluto will be going back and forth over the next 9 months. We all have this somewhere in our natal astrology chart, and I will be sharing with you in the 12 sign readings where you will have Pluto transiting your chart in which area of your life. We will also all be feeling this on a collective level. If you think back to 2020, if you think back to 2008, I'm not at all saying that we're going to have another major crisis. However, on a collective level, with Pluto especially going back to the anaretic degree of 29 degrees, which I'm going to tell you more about in a moment, especially with that transit and Pluto squaring the nodes of the moon this summer, we are all going to feel this energy collectively. For those of you who have planets and points in the earlier degrees of Capricorn or the other cardinal signs, for you cardinal sign people who have already been through a major transformation, a major Pluto transformation, please leave us a comment. Tell us your story. Tell us how you've come through this. You will be encouraging to those of us who are still finishing out this Pluto in Capricorn transformation period. I find it really interesting that Pluto will be here in Capricorn for 9 months, another 2 months and a little bit more during September and November of 2024. That's 9 months. That is a full gestational birth cycle. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. We are, especially those of you who are personally affected based on your planets and points, we are going through an ego death process. What do I mean by ego death? When I say ego death, which sounds very scary, I want to acknowledge to the ego mind. Remember though that most, if not all of you, have already shed a skin. Anytime we go through any kind of awakening, anytime we wake up to a new truth that we haven't seen before, a spiritual awakening, an ascension process, that is an ego death. That is what we call a shift in timelines, going to a new vibration or a new frequency. So I encourage you to let your ego know, to put your arms around your inner child and let him or her know you have already been through, most likely, more than one ego death in your lifetime. I know I have been through many. I have actually had 10 very difficult Pluto transits. Yes, I did count them. I chronicled them. I reviewed them. And actually, that can be a great exercise to do in terms of realizing how powerful you actually are, what you've already moved through. But an ego death is where we rise to a new level. We wake up, we have an awakening, and we're able to let something go, an old way of coping, an old way of dealing with disappointment, deception, pain in our lives. We're able to release that old way of being and take on a new, more empowered, more, I feel better in my skin than I ever have kind of way of being. The thing that can make Pluto and Capricorn more scary to our egos is that it brings up truths that were previously unconscious to us. And when we see something that we were not conscious to before, it can be startling. It can be discombobulating. And yes, this is quite destabilizing for our ego selves. But our higher self is with us the whole time. Our spiritual guidance is coming through always more clearly, more potently than before we went through the change. So this is important to keep in mind, that if you're going through a big change during this time, you are not alone and you are more supported by your divine guidance than ever. I have to share with you that often before I create a video, I pull a card just asking Spirit, what is this transit all about? And you're not going to be surprised, and I'm not kidding, that this is the card that came up, transformation. And when I look at the message on this card, it says a fresh new way of living emerges. There's a new vitality that is going to come to us, through us, as a result of any transformation that we have. We are going to have energy to do something new, to be a new self. For some of us, this will be a new role, a coming out into the world with our authentic expression, gifts, and talents. This will be the gift of going through this Pluto transit. Now, Pluto will start retrograding backward at 29 degrees. 29 degrees is an anaretic degree. That means we are finishing out a cycle, a soul cycle. We are ending things. We are culminating things. This could be a job. It could be a situation. It could be a relationship. It could be a dynamic in a relationship. You could be changing the dynamic in a specific relationship. And this is all relationships because Pluto rules the 8th house. The 8th house is both a relationship and a money house. And in relationships, it's where we share resources, time, money, and energy. So this is generally the most significant relationships in our lives, but it could be a boss or a supervisor. It could be a coworker. It could be a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend. It could be a, parent, adult, child. It can really be any relationship where you have a spoken or unspoken commitment. And in the 8th house, it's where we're sharing power. Of course, in all relationships, we're sharing power in our give and take. But during a Pluto transit, we're very much aware of whether the relationships that are most significant to us are in flow, whether there's a balance, whether there is this mutual reciprocity that we all need for a healthy relationship. In other words, Pluto in Capricorn, this 8th house kind of energy, wants us to be aware if there's anything toxic going on in our relationships and then release that if that's the dynamic. Now, Pluto was already at 29 degrees in February of this year. It was also already at 27 to 28 degrees in 2022. So I feel that some of what's going to be coming up for us, we have already gotten a glimpse of. We have already begun dealing with the issues. If there's an issue involved, we have already been working with this energy, which may mean that for most of us, we're just going to be integrating what we've already learned. It may mean that we're more so going back and solidifying the changes that we already have begun to put in motion. In Pluto transits, we're breaking free of dependencies, codependencies, where we are clinging to our past often, or we're clinging to the status quo, especially in Capricorn, which rules the status quo, where we want to have a structure that we can rely on. So this is basically about breaking free, letting go, releasing anything that isn't for our highest good, and especially where we've been settling for less than we deserve in a relationship. So a new truth could come to light for you, or maybe has already come to light for you, that is making you realize, I need to shift my plan. I thought I was going to do this, or I thought I was going to do this with this group of people or this person, but I realize now that the dynamic doesn't feel healthy, it doesn't feel balanced, it doesn't feel mutually reciprocal, or maybe your trust has been broken. And because your trust has been broken, and this could be in any environment, this could be a work environment, this could be in a romantic relationship, it could be in a friendship, but maybe you feel like that you're on shaky ground, or you're walking on eggshells, and you just don't feel that there's stability there. You just don't feel that there's trust there. And Pluto wants to help you to cleanse that from your life. And that could just mean that you're renegotiating a dynamic with that person. You're renegotiating a spoken or an unspoken agreement. So I want to give you some keywords of Pluto and Capricorn, and then I'm going to talk about this key transit that's happening this summer with Pluto squaring the nodes, and then we'll get to the 12 sign reading. So some keywords of Pluto and Capricorn, some key themes are work and the workplace, the boss, the supervisor, office politics, CEO, hierarchies, toxic work environments, corporate greed, or corporate abuse of power, government power, rules, restrictions that governments lay down, unscrupulous lawmaking, limits and boundaries, or an authority figure saying no to you, responsibilities, duties, a sense of obligation that we have toward another person, or that we feel others have toward us, karmic agreements, caretaker roles, and these are often traditional roles because Capricorn is a very traditional sign. It could be like, I always thought I would play this role. I always thought that I would be the CEO, or that I would be a grandparent, or that I would be a parent. So because Capricorn rules responsibility, it can be a parent-child relationship dynamic, a teacher-student relationship dynamic, manager-team, landlord-tenant, best friendships even. But this is, again, often where there's an imbalance of power, where you feel like you're giving more than the other person is giving, or they feel like you have more power than they have. And some of these roles have expired, and we don't realize they've expired. It's unconscious to us. They've expired. It's time for us to move on from them. And yet we still feel a duty and responsibility. But if you are jolted, my friend, or awakened to a new truth that makes you realize in order to take care of you, you have to let go of a role or responsibility that you hadn't planned on releasing, know that there's a whole new life ahead of you, a whole new world that is going to be open to you when you release and let go. Sometimes in Capricorn energy, we can feel a stagnancy, we can feel an oppression even, we can feel, remember Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn can be a killjoy. Saturn can feel very heavy, and we can feel like, oh, I have this thing that I have to do. And often, again, that's unconscious. But when we realize that that is no longer ours to do, it's no longer our marching orders, when we realize that, a whole new breath of fresh air can come into our lives. I know that many years ago when I was going through a divorce, and I never thought, as pretty much all of us who go through divorce never think that's going to happen to us, right? I never thought that would happen. I did everything in my power that I could possibly do to avoid it. But I remember when I was going through that, I went to a psychic reader and she told me, you are suffocating, Betsy. You are suffocating in this relationship. And that suffocation, that feeling of feeling trapped, is often a feeling we have before Pluto comes along and says, this is expired. It's time for you to let go. So this summer, the most intense Pluto transit of Pluto in Capricorn is going to happen. That is when Pluto squares the nodes of the moon. We're also going to have a cardinal grand square. What is this? This is going to be around the Cancer new moon time. The north node will be in Aries, the south node will be in Libra, the moon will be in Cancer, and Pluto will be in Capricorn. And during that time, you may feel like you're being pulled in all directions, my friend. Cardinal energy, where all of these signs are, cardinal energy is go-getter energy. It's initiating energy. We want to do something new. It's very ambitious energy. So you may feel like you have 4 different parts of you, sides of you, that are wanting to do something new, wanting to start something new. And I have a separate video for you on the lunar nodes changing signs, the lunar nodes going into Aries and Libra. The key to navigating this cardinal grand square is giving voice to all sides of ourselves. Aries, the part of us that's the I am self, I'm doing this, I know what I want to do. It's very self-directed energy, my way or the highway sometimes even. That's Aries. Libra, what do we want to do? What are we doing as a team? It's conciliatory, it's diplomatic, it's more pleasing energy sometimes. And then Cancer, all about the home and family and being nurtured and the mother. And Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, which represents the father, the rules, the structure, the foundation. So we need to feel nurtured. We need to feel loved and cared for. We need a solid, sustainable foundation underneath us. We need to know what structure we're creating. We need to have some balance, give and take in our relationships, working together. And most importantly, we need to take care of ourselves. Why do I say most importantly? Because the North Node is in Aries. The North Node is the direction we're going. It's going to be where we have the most soul growth, where we are mustering our courage and our strength and our bravery to go after what it is we want and to put ourselves first, So with Pluto at 29 degrees during this cardinal grand cross time, we are balancing all 4 of these energies. And it will be more challenging with the North Node in Aries because that is the I am. That is, I'm doing it my way. So everyone, all of us is going to be feeling that. My way, my way, my way. And we need to come to some sort of balance, some sort of mutually reciprocal give and take. So during this cardinal grand cross, the issues that may come up will revolve around trust. What is the truth? Self-respect, respecting yourself, honoring your own dignity, staying in integrity with your own soul, not sweeping things under the rug, not saying, I don't see what I actually see. The truth is going to set you free, my friend. Knowledge will be power for you. You will be able to reclaim your power with the knowledge that you see. And during a Pluto transit, you cannot unsee what you see. Whatever comes up, you know you will have to take action on because it will be very obvious, very blatant, and you won't feel in your power. And to get back into your power, you will need to set boundaries. You will need to be very clear on what you expect in terms of feeling honored and respected. And some of us will be moving on from soul contracts. Some soul contracts will end. Some relationships will take their final bow. They will end because we are moving on and we're no longer at a similar enough vibration in order to continue on in a healthy way. And the ones that last, the ones that stay together are the ones where if there are issues, you talk it out. You work things through and trust is restored. You have to have the trust there. We have to have the trust there in order to continue on with people and not leak our energy out. One thing to keep in mind with a Pluto transit at the end degrees, like we have here with Capricorn, is you often receive a gift at the end degrees. For example, my mom passed when Pluto opposed my Cancer moon, but then I had a new grandchild. I let go of a toxic boss, and then I really came out big time with my astrology work. So expect to receive a reward. Expect that something is going to come in and take the place of whatever you're letting go of. And you could really be embracing something that's passionate for you, my friend. You could be saying yes to a calling, yes to a passion, something that is pulling you forward. Strongly, madly, deeply, passionately. This is Pluto energy. So I think a lot of us have a lot to look forward to, and that should be part of this process. I want us to have a celebration process with the end degrees of Capricorn. I want us to look toward our future. I want us to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because this truly is the end of the tunnel. The light is bursting through is what I'm seeing. And I really want to encourage you to be proud of yourself for how far you come. Pluto in Capricorn is not an easy Pluto transit. Not that any Pluto transit is a cakewalk, but Pluto in Capricorn can be some of the heaviest, most rigid energy to break through. We can deal with people that we feel are unmovable during Pluto in Capricorn, like they just won't budge, or maybe we just won't budge. But it can really sometimes feel like, oh, when is this going to be over? This is heavy. And this is why I really want to encourage you, if you're having a challenging time, to go to my hard Pluto transits video, because I do go into depth about my own hard Pluto transit in that video, and that may be very supportive to you. So my friend, what I want to impart to you as a tip is remember that you always have options. Even if something is ending during a Pluto transit, even if something is, you have to let it go, you have no choice, remember that you always have options. Sometimes we don't see those options until we let go, but once we let go, a space is created and then we can see what our choices are. Also with Pluto energy, we can't go back. We have ascended, we have moved on to a new sense of self. We cannot go back to the old way, even if we wanted to. We are a new self. We feel renewed in our skin. We have a new sense of power that we didn't have before. Set boundaries. And if your boundaries are not being honored, despite being clear about them, maybe it's time to let go of whatever the situation, the relationship, the dynamic is. And be sure and get support, because remember, during a Pluto transit, if you are feeling personally affected, you've ascended to a new vibration, to a new level of power, strength, and personal achievement within yourself. You have gotten there, which means that we often need to engage new support. Those you relied on in the past, or a person you relied on in the past, may no longer be able to support you. So we're creating a new movie. There are new players in our movie taking on a new role, and that means new fulfillment, new, deeper, more true and authentic soul fulfillment. And if you are looking for support, I would love to support you through an astrology consultation or a coaching session. The links to my services are below in the description box. Okay, my friend, let's do the 12 sign readings now. Remember to listen to your rising sign, which is the area of life in which you are experiencing this Pluto in Capricorn transit. You can also watch your sun and moon sign readings to get more intuitive messages on navigating this transit. Okay, so let's start with Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorns, you are earning your spiritual warrior stripes during this transit, no question. For those of you who have already had your Pluto transit, in other words, you have Capricorn planets or points, or your ascendant Capricorn rising at 0 to 25 degrees, you've already had that. I really want to give you a big good job, amazing job for having come through like the phoenix rising from the ashes. For those of you who have planets or points between 26 and 29 degrees, now Pluto has already been 26 to 28 degrees. It's already spent some time there last year, and 29 degrees in February. So you've all already gone through this energy to a certain degree. You've already most likely have gotten a very strong taste if you haven't already shed a skin. But for those of you who are in the throes of this transit right now, you probably already know this is where you are reclaiming your power. This is where you're becoming stronger. This is where you are literally, well, not literally, metaphorically shedding a skin. There are endings here. You're evolving your soul in a big way. It's the end of a soul cycle. And the first house has to do with your identity. So this is why I'm very clear with you about your new identity, spiritual warrior. Now, you may have a new name for that, but in my video on hard Pluto transits, I say to people in the comments, that you have earned spiritual warrior status. This is really, really important to see if we've let something go, if we've had a loss, if we've had something happen that's been very, very painful for us, as you may have if you have a Capricorn rising especially. It's very important that we validate for ourselves that we are now a new person and that we are that spiritual being that has come here having a human experience, but that we have graduated through many soul lessons and we are now stronger, more vital, more empowered than we've ever been before. So this is the gift that you receive from a Pluto transit in addition to other gifts. So some of you may be changing your identity. Some of you could be becoming a new, you fill in the blank. You could have changed your role at work. You could change your role in family. So personal and professional roles often change during a Pluto to the ascendant transit. Also, your appearance could change, your look could change. You could have gone through a health issue or be going through a health issue. You could have a new sense of vitality. You will have, remember, I didn't say this earlier, but Pluto regenerates. We come out of a Pluto transit feeling regenerated. We are turned into something new. The need that you have as a result of this Pluto transit, Capricorn, is to feel free and self-directed. So this is the need that must be met for you during this Pluto transit, to be freed and to be self-directed. So now let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say for you beautiful Capricorns. Capricorn, your Pluto transit, and your card is grounding. It says, go deep and explore your roots. And it looks like she's pregnant in this card. And you know, if you watched the earlier part of my video, I talked about the focus is going wonky. You know, if you watched the earlier part of my video, that this 9 months of Pluto in Capricorn at the very end degrees is a birthing process, a rebirthing process. At 29 degrees, many of us will feel those birthing contractions. If you've given birth before, you know that the contractions at the end during what we call the transition period can be the most challenging to get through. But this is saying, of course, ground your energy, give yourself time and space to just be, reflect. This reminds me of when I was going through a really difficult Pluto transit and I found a tree, and I write about this in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. I found a tree to call my own, and I used to go there and sit by the tree and just be. And I used to put my arms around the tree and let the tree's energy fill me up and rejuvenate me. So this also reminds me of using nature, communing with nature in order to restore your vitality. Beautiful Capricorn. Okay, Sagittarius. Hello, beautiful Sagittarius. You guys are having this transit of Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn in your second house of income, self-esteem, self-love, values, possessions, prized possessions. This is where you source your security and stability, or at least some of it, from this physical material world. The key word I have for you in terms of your need during this transit, you have a need to feel secure. You have a need first and foremost to feel secure, to feel solid, grounded, safe in your material world, to feel safe in your material world. So some of you may experience, if you have planets or points in those high degrees of Capricorn, you may experience a shift in income, a shift in your job. Your values may change or have changed. You may release possessions, you may buy new possessions. And overall, the goal of this transit is going to be to get you to a new place of self-esteem, self-love, and to know your value, know your worth, know what you deserve. And in that process, to feel more safe and secure than ever. So you're choosing relationships from this new state of safety and security. You're choosing jobs, you're choosing situations, you're choosing homes from this new state of serene self-love, self-deserving. I know my worth, I know what I deserve, and I won't settle for anything less. Okay, so let's pull a card for you, Sag. Sagittarius, your card is Far away places, get ready for new horizons, Sagittarius. So let me look at this card for a second. Well, this could be a tropical place. There are a lot of sailboats, but there's also a dock here where you can feel safe and secure on this dock, where you can set up your home, even if it's temporarily, in a place that feels grounding for you. So you're broadening your horizons. That tells me that you're taking risks, which you're very good at, Sag. You're taking chances. You're allowing yourself to expand. You're listening to your inner voice. You're receiving those messages. You're staying open, and you're letting your inner wisdom guide you. You are not afraid to step into something new in order to grow, and most important, in order to have a new sense of fulfillment and excitement in your life, Sag. There's a new excitement that's coming to you with this transit when you open up completely and say yes to these new horizons. Okay, Scorpios. Hello, beautiful Scorpios. You guys are having the transit of Pluto in Capricorn in the last degrees of Capricorn in your third house. Your third house is communication, it's mindset, it's your way of thinking, it's your thoughts, it's networking in your local area, it's everything in your immediate environment where you go to do your shopping and your cooking and your work. Well, not your cooking maybe, but your working out, restaurants, and so on. It's your hood, basically. So it's also neighbors, it's relationships with landlords or cousins, uncles, and aunts and siblings. So some of you could have something going on with a sibling during this time. Some of you could have something going on with a neighbor or a landlord. These are power-based relationships. All relationships are, but with a Pluto transit, it's where we're reconciling power, where we're trying to get our power back if we've given it away, if there's an imbalance. Most of us will experience this transit in terms of a relationship, and it is where we're restoring balance, as I said earlier in the video in the introduction, where we're restoring balance to something that's out of balance for us in our lives. So let's find, oh, and I want to give you your keyword. Your keyword is seen. I feel seen. I am seen. I am acknowledged. So this is getting feedback. So wherever you're not getting feedback, and this could be as what seems as simple as where you work out every day or where you go to yoga, or there's maybe a relationship with the yoga teacher or with the person, your personal trainer, for example, where you don't feel seen, or maybe where you do feel seen, and that really lights you up and makes you feel passionate and makes you feel acknowledged. But there's something, there's a need that you have, Scorpio, during this Pluto and Capricorn transit to feel seen, acknowledged, heard. Okay, so I've been shuffling the cards, let's shuffle them another once or twice more, and then we'll pull a card for you. Scorpio. Your card is great adventure. Take a risk and venture forward. So some of you are going to move out of your neighborhood. Some of you just need to take a trip. Third house is short trips. Third house doesn't tend to be like going to another country or even flying to another state, although it could be, especially if it's like a long weekend. But third house is where we see new scenery in our local environment, and that gets us out of a rut. That helps us to open up to seeing in a new way, to new perceptions, and it broadens our world. So beautiful, Scorpio. This card is encouraging you to take a risk. This card is encouraging you to muster the courage from within to start fresh, some of you, to start completely fresh and allow your life to take on new meaning, fulfillment, and a sense of expansion. Okay, Libra. Hello, beautiful Libras. Libras, you guys are having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in the last degrees in your fourth house of home, family, and childhood conditioning. This is the house of roots. This is where you need to feel a sense of belonging. Your goal during this transit for the next 9 months is to feel a sense of belonging. I belong. This is my place. This is my home. If you don't feel like you belong in your community, if you don't feel like your home is your sanctuary, if you don't feel like you're getting your needs met in terms of belonging, this is what you would most likely be working on during this transit. This is also family of origin. You could be doing some deep inner work in terms of what we call shadow work, in terms of anything that happened in your childhood or in past lives. People could be coming and going from your home in terms of roommates or family members. Someone could be moving out, someone could be moving in, you could be changing your home, you could be moving to a new home, you could be remodeling or building. Pluto is about, taking out what isn't healthy, detoxifying and rebuilding, sending down your roots into new, more fertile, more abundant soil. So I've been shuffling. I'm going to shuffle once or twice more. Oh, a card turned over. A card turned over, and your card is navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. Navigating by the stars, following your bliss. So I feel like this is saying tune into your inner guidance. Well, it's also maybe a nod to some of you who love astrology and really getting into astrology more, and how that is a validation of that really helping you. But also, like, don't be afraid to navigate in the dark. Don't be afraid to go your own way, to take the path less traveled, the road less traveled. Follow your bliss. Follow what lights up your heart, Libra. My book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling, may be a book that really helps you during this time if you are seeking your bliss, if you are wanting to claim your bliss and follow your bliss. That is a workbook with many exercises, meditations, and my own personal stories of my dark nights of the soul that could really help you. So don't be afraid to be the fool in the tarot, beautiful Libra. Don't be afraid to step out into new territory if that is what is calling to you in terms of your bliss. Okay, Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgos. You're having this transit of Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn in your fifth house of creative expression. This is your true, authentic, most coming alive expression. This is true love and romance. This is play, fun, adventure, and children. Also your inner child, giving your inner child what he or she most needs. Your word for what you need, what you're cultivating during this transit is freedom, feeling free to express yourself most authentically. So free to be me, free to be me. If you want a mantra, there's a mantra for you, beautiful Virgo. So during this time, Pluto is really shaking things up for you, or let's say detoxifying anything that has stifled you as far as your own creative expression, any limits that you've had, any sense of where you're not good at something or you're not talented at something. This could also be clearing and cleansing a relationship, especially a romantic relationship or a relationship with a child, and helping you to cleanse or clear, do any shadow work on your connection to your own inner child. And just so you know, I have a meditation for you on reparenting yourself. It's really an inner child healing video, actually. Video is what I meant. It's an inner child healing video. I also have a whole playlist of meditations, and I will link to both of those in the description box below. Okay, so let's pull a card for you. Oh, shuffle one more time. And then let's pull a card for you. Beautiful Virgo. And your card is staying focused, hold the course. So Virgo, I love that he or she is looking through this telescope and seeing exactly what they want. They have their eye on the prize. They know what they need. They know what they want. And this is really about like not letting your mind talk you out of what you know your heart most wants. This is being diligent. It's being focused. And, this is Capricorn energy. This is the best of Capricorn energy, is being very diligent and very focused and allowing your passion to lead, because Pluto is also passion. Pluto's also being led by a passion, not pushed by pain, but led by a passion instead. So some of you could be feeling very passionate about something right now and really being driven to complete something that could be a work of art in some way. It could be a book, it could be a one-person show, it could be a painting or music, an album, it could be anything creative that is where you are fully and truly expressing who you are. or supporting a child in their own creative awakening. But this feels to me like just a very big validation of keep doing what you're doing, stay focused. I know when I was writing my book and I was at the very end of finishing it, I was so weary, I was so exhausted, and I was kind of losing steam. So if you're losing steam, take a little break if you need it, but don't give up. Keep going. You are very, very close to completion. And that completion is going to be so exciting and fulfilling, beautiful Virgo. Okay, Leos. Hello, beautiful Leos. You're having this transit of Pluto at the end degrees of Capricorn in the 6th house. The 6th house is your daily work, your daily exercise, your health, your nutrition. It's the structures. It's your foundation in a very mundane but important material way. How you are doing your life, basically. How you're doing your day in and your day out. That is the 6th house. So your key word in terms of what you need and what you're really cultivating during this Pluto transit is you need organized flow, You need a strong sense of organization. You need to know that you're supported by your routines. You're fully supported and that your day is feeding you. How you're setting up your day, whether it's work or play or all of that, your health, your leisure, all of what you're doing, that is supportive to your well-being overall. It's supportive to your deep sense of fulfillment. Okay, so Leos, and you could be making changes at work. You could have a toxic relationship with the boss, I'm sorry to say, but that would be true for some of you with the Pluto 6th house transit. You could be going through a detoxing period in terms of relationships or in terms of what you're putting into your body. You could be bringing in new things to nourish you instead of things that have been toxic to you in the past, and that's true for anything, right? We take in substances on all levels. You could be detoxing yourself from the media. You could be going on a fast from social media, any of that. It's all about, in the big picture, detoxifying and renewing your health, regenerating your health on all levels, including in your work life. Okay, Leos, what is your Pluto and Capricorn wisdom coming through the cards? Your card is Journey by Moonlight. Believe in magic. Believe in magic, beautiful Leo. I love this card because you can see that there is it looks like a nymph. It looks like a fairy or a nymph is playing music, playing some sort of musical instrument. And so this is a really elemental card. There are a lot of elementals in this card. Some of you may work with the elementals. There's a fairy here. There's different like gnomes or nymphs here. And they are playing to the full moon. And they are very connected to the magic of nature, to the magic of the other realms. So I feel like this card is saying there is much more going on in your life in terms of the ethereal realms than you are fully aware of, Leo. And of course, the 6th house is across from the 12th house, which is the ethereal realms. So you may want to do some meditations or something that makes you feel more connected to the unseen, what you cannot see with the naked eye, because they're trying to get your attention. They want to work with you. They want to support you. They want to help you with your organized, feeling supported structures. They want to support you. And even if you don't believe in magic, this card is saying magic has something for you. Magic believes in you, beautiful Leo. So whatever is coming through for you when I'm speaking this aloud, this could be a lot of different things, but I think in the big picture, this is saying there are signs and synchronicities that are coming through to you. Open up to them, receive them, because there's a whole magical universe that could really enrich your everyday, mundane routines and daily structures. Beautiful Leo. Okay, Cancers. Hello, beautiful Cancers. Cancers, you're having this transit of Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn in your 7th house of committed partnerships. So you Cancers, especially if you're Cancer rising or Cancer moon, Cancer sun as well, you have been through it. You have absolutely been through it. My rising and my moon are in Cancer, and I had Pluto in Capricorn was opposing my moon, and it was opposing my ascendant. So those were some real transformational years. Absolutely, no question. I'm sure you have all been through it too. If you have planets or points at 27 to 29 degrees, you're going through it now, especially 28 or 29 degrees. It affects all of your relationships. It could be a relationship at work. It could be relationships at home, especially. It could be a relationship with your mother. It can be, it's family. It's all family relationships. It could also be clients. It could be business partnerships. And I know for me, because I have Capricorn also in my 6th house, in addition to my 7th house and also part of my 8th house, it affected a relationship with a boss as well. It was a very toxic work relationship for me until I let it go. So what you are seeking and needing during this transit, beautiful Cancer, is a balanced, mutual, reciprocal give and take. You need mutually reciprocal relationships. Cancers, you can be so loving and sweet and generous with your heart, and also easily attached. You easily attach and you don't want to let go. You do not want to let those Cancer claws let go of whatever isn't serving you. It's the hardest thing ever. You give people often way too much credit. You see their potential rather than the truth of who they are sometimes. And that can make this transit that much harder. But for you especially, having this in your 7th house of partnerships is can be a challenging transit. You can also have a passionate relationship during this time. I speak much more about this in my video on hard Pluto transits, so I will link to that below. You can watch that as well if you'd like. Some people have passionate relationships during this time. They're not always the best relationships for you, but they awaken you to your soul. They awaken you to your soul's path. And for that reason, in the long run, they can be quite valuable to you. Just be very aware of who you're attaching to, Cancer, and is it good for you? Is it healthy for you? Or is it toxic to you? Okay, beautiful Cancers. I'm shuffling the cards for you, and then I'm going to pull a card. Beautiful Cancer. Your card is Passion and Pleasure. Savor your life. I love this card, Cancer. What a beautiful card to get for a Pluto transit. Passion and pleasure. Pluto, of course, also rules passion. So I feel this is a really good omen for Cancers that passion is coming into your life. If you have already been through a difficult Pluto transit, often we get a gift at the end of a Pluto transit. We receive a gift. And that's something that I need to add to this video. We receive a gift. We are gifted with something. I was gifted with a grandbaby at the end of my Pluto moon transit. So often we receive a gift of a passionate relationship, something that's more on our soul, the level of our vibration, the quality of our vibration, a new job, a new influx of money. It could be anything, a new business, but where you are now in your own you're now in your power in a new way, and that allows you to attract more passionate, pleasurable things into your life. Beautiful Cancer, savor your life. Savor what is in your life now, and you will receive even more. Okay, Geminis. Hello, beautiful Gemini family. I have my natal sun in Gemini. Geminis, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in your 8th house, of transformation. So this is a very comfortable place for Pluto. It doesn't mean it will be easy, but Pluto is at home here. And your key word is trust. Trust. Often during 8th house transits, we have trust issues that come up because it's a relationship in a money house, as I spoke about in the introduction to this video. It's where we are sharing resources, time, money, and energy with other people who are significant to us in our life. Whether it's clients, it could be personal or professional bonds. We're sharing resources. And so trust issues can come up. And this is where we become very clear. Truths come to light. We become very clear. You will, if you haven't already, Gemini, become very clear. Who has your back? Who's worthy of your trust? Listen to your intuition. Go with that. You could have a change in your investments. You could pay off a loan. You could have an influx of new money. You could receive an inheritance. There are a lot of different ways this could play out. This could be connected to taxes for you. But this is also, like I said, a money house, and it's where we are sometimes receiving dividends, interest, and so on, receiving money back from our investments as well. It's a transformational house. You cannot help but transform during this transit. It's just going to be a matter of have your personal planets and points already been touched, or do you have them in the high degrees, say 27 to 29 degrees or 0 to 1 degrees of Aquarius, where you may be once again touched or be integrating what you've already learned. Okay, Gemini, your card is Gemini, beautiful Gemini. Your card is joy and delight. Oh my gosh, I love the cards that have been coming up for this. It's really beautiful. Open your heart to joy. Gemini, you may be receiving a gift of joy and delight. This is a beautiful little angel fairy. She's got wings. She is dancing in the ethereal realms. You may want to take more time in the ethereal realms through guided meditation, through astral travel, or other kinds of your dream state, visioning, to bring you into a state of lightness. That could be very helpful. You need joy and delight during this transit. We all need joy and delight on a regular basis, but especially during this transit, that where with Capricorn energy, it can feel heavy. It can feel heavier than even Pluto in Aquarius, because Pluto in Aquarius, although it's co-ruled by Saturn, it's an air energy like yours, Gemini. So it's a lighter energy. So it depends on what your planets or points are in your natal chart. If you'd like a personal astrology reading, I would love to do that with you. We can look at what's actually going on in your what's being activated for you, what's being touched in your natal chart. Then we'll be able to see more personally how this transit is affecting you. But in the big picture, allow in the playfulness, take care of your inner child. Say yes to joyful, delightful moments. Take breaks when you need to. And that will really change the tone of this transit for you. Beautiful Gemini. Joy and delight. Okay, Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you're having this transit of Pluto in Capricorn, the last degrees of Capricorn, in your 9th house of expansion. Beautiful Taurus, expansion. This is where you're expanding. New horizons, new territory on all levels or any level. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical even. Long distance travel is here. New courses, a new PhD or master's program, for example, a new metaphysical art kind of learning program. You could be studying astrology. That's very 9th house. You could be finding a new religious affiliation, a new spiritual leader, a guru, so to speak. You could be going through a detox of your belief system, because with Pluto here, it's reworking you from the inside out. It's reworking you from the unconscious level out. And so this is where you have a need for some sort of clearing out, most of you. You could have an idol, a guru, or a role model fall from grace for you. Sorry to say that, but there could be something that happens where you see them with new perceptions, with new eyes, and that changes your own belief about life in some way. The goal here is empowerment. It's always empowerment. It's always you becoming stronger, you shedding a skin, and you rising like the phoenix from the ashes. So you could have a spiritual awakening here for sure, beautiful Taurus. And your key word here for you, the need that you have during this Pluto transit, is to feel expanded, is to feel new again, to feel rebirthed in the area of higher learning, spirituality, or travel. So a trip could really awaken you to new scenery, can really open you up to new perceptions as well. So let's pull your card now. And your card is, Taurus, it is choosing your path. All is possible. If this isn't 9th house, I don't know what is. Check it out. He is looking out. He's got a cape on. He's feeling quite empowered. He's got everything he needs, including what he's wearing, to be the spiritual seeker. He is seeking, and that is so 9th house. Choose your path. It's time to choose a path. Everything is possible. The real message here is everything is possible for you. It's unlimited. 9th house is unlimited. You are unlimited. You're only limited by your own thinking, your own perceptions, your own inner knows. So this is a just say yes transit for you, and you will, the world is your oyster. The world is your oyster. Taurus, this is just about you allowing yourself to go on a brand new journey. Very exciting. Okay, Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you're having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in the last degrees in your 10th house of career. So you've already been going through a transformation in your 10th house of career. This is your career. This is your legacy. This is retirement for some of you. It's where you seek meaning and fulfillment. So you've already been going through it. Pluto has been transiting here for some time now, maybe having you question your career, maybe having you question how you do your career. Some of you have already made career changes, I'm sure. Some of you have started your own business, or you want to start your own business, or you're leaving a business, or you're just doing it differently. Your key word, the need that you have during this Pluto transit, is to feel purposeful and fulfilled. Purposeful and fulfilled. So you're letting go of anything or any way of being, any way of doing your career that takes away from that strong, clear sense of purpose, fulfillment, and meaning. So, Aries, that's big. This is a big transit for you. And like I said, you've already been going through this unless you have planets or points at the very end degrees of Capricorn or the very early degrees of the fixed signs. Unless you have that, or Aquarius specifically, unless you have that, you've already been feeling this probably for some time now. Okay, so let's pull a card for you. And Aries, your card is fellow travelers. Support is all around you. I love this. So he is seeking and seeking spiritual knowledge, but there's support all around in nature, in the birds. This is a peacock. It's time for you to spread your peacock feathers. There's a rainbow. You're getting very close to the pot of gold. You're getting very close to a culmination. Capricorn at 29 degrees. This is culminations. This is things coming to fruition. This is endings, graduations of a soul cycle. Look how close you are. You are so close to that rainbow. I love that so much. Don't try to do it alone, Aries. This is a perfect card for you because I know as someone who has Mars in Aries, I know how easy it is to just be a solo traveler. But when you do it all by yourself, it becomes exhausting, heavy, and it's so much more fun, at least sometimes, to involve others, and so important and needed to get support. So make sure you get support, beautiful Aries. And if you'd like support from an astrologer, I would absolutely love to do an astrology reading with you. So check out my links to my services in the description box below. Okay, Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. You are doing this transit of Pluto and Capricorn at the end degrees in your 11th house. Your 11th house is communities, it's friendships, it's your networks, it's social media, any social media platforms you have, hopes, wishes, and dreams. So this is big. This is like that heart's desire that you so want to come to fruition. It's where that big dream is, or that thing that you want to have happen before you depart the planet. It is that big. It's also a money house. It's long-term gains as well. So this is also networking. This is the world is your oyster, beautiful Pisces. And your keywords, what you need to feel, the support you need during this transit is you need to feel supported, loved, and acknowledged. Supported, loved, and acknowledged by your tribe, because 11th house is your tribe. So many of you are letting go of members of your tribe. People are leaving your life and new people are coming in. It can be very challenging when someone close to you leaves your life. I know what that feels like. It's not easy, but this is because your vibration has changed. You've graduated, soul contracts have expired, and new ones are ready to come in whenever you are ready. So Pisces, you may be letting go of causes. You may be letting go of groups, of affiliations that no longer resonate for you as well. So Pisces, what do the cards have to say for you? Your card is Answering the call, Pisces. The time is now. What comes to you when I say answering the call? She's going through a portal. She's walking out. She is feeling beautiful. She is feeling in her power. She is dressed in her royal regal garb. This is your time. What calls to your heart? If time, money, and resources were not an issue, what would you say yes to? This is the time. I can't say it enough, Pisces. You are really being beckoned forward. You are really being called out of your comfort zone into a whole new world. So go for it. And if you need support, if you need to muster your courage to do it, check out my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. Okay, the link is below, Pisces. Okay, so Aquarius, thank you for your patience, Aquarius. Aquarius, you are having this transit of Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th house of retreat, rejuvenation. It's where we do our shadow work. It's where we often feel more alone than usual. So Aquarius, those of you who are Aquarius risings especially, I want to give you so much credit because you've already been going through this transit for some time, and this is not an easy transit to feel. You may have felt very isolated during this time. Either that or both, you are getting a deep inner reworking of your mind during this transit. The subconscious mind is 12th house. Something is really being reworked on an unconscious psychological level for you, Aquarius, and that is not easy. That's a lot of work. That's not easy. So I really want to give you credit for having gone through that to this point, and you're almost out of the birth canal. You are almost reborn. It's almost happening. Your key word, your need, is to feel clear, to feel strong, and to be connected to your inner guidance, your inner wisdom. This is so important during this transit for you, to feel connected to your inner guidance. And your inner mystic, this is where you can really emerge as the butterfly, knowing that the inner mystic in you is feeding you, fulfilling you. Beautiful Aquarius. And I know so many of you are already so collected and connected to the galactic realms. You feel more comfortable, many of you, in the galactic realm. So maybe this transit was easier for you than it is for water signs, for example, but I'm not saying it is. I'm sure it's quite transformational for you. So let's get your card here. Okay, your card is Aquarius, the mystic healer. Oh my gosh, Aquarius, the mystic healer. Healing energy flows through you. This is you reborn. This is you reborn, Aquarius. Can you tell how excited I am? Oh my God. Yes, the mystic healer. This is what you come through as. This is your reward. This is who you are. And as you come through this transit, some of you will take on this role in your real, so to speak, your earthly life. You will take on this role, and if you don't put yourself out there as a healer of some sort, you will be this to others in different ways, to those in your personal life, for example. So I love that she is all dressed in white. She is so ethereal. There's a purification that has happened for you or will happen at the end degrees of this transit that is really going to take you to new heights and a new level of joy, fulfillment, and serenity. Beautiful Aquarius. Serenity. I feel so much serenity and grounding and proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. That's what I feel you're coming out of this as. I am so proud of myself for what I have gone through, what I have transformed, how I have come through, the chrysalis, how I am now the beautiful butterfly. So there you go, beautiful Aquarius. My beautiful friend, this has been a general reading of Pluto retrograding in Capricorn. If you would like a personal astrology consultation where we look at your natal chart, unique planets and points, how they are being touched, how you are being affected on a personal level by this transit of Pluto in Capricorn and the upcoming transit of Pluto going into Aquarius, and every other transit that is going on in your chart right now. We look at the current transits, how they're affecting you, how you can receive empowerment from them. We look at the future transits, what is coming up for you, what can you get excited about, what is ahead for you, what does your future look like in the rest of 2023. And of course, always your gifts, your talents, your strengths, your potentials for whatever areas of life are most important to you now. We can do a natal chart reading, we can do a life purpose reading, or we can do a heart's desire reading. So be sure and go to my website, check out my readings. You choose the reading you want, choose your time zone, available times will pop up. You can choose your time and you will be booked for an astrology reading with me, and I cannot wait to meet you on Zoom. And for those of you who would like coaching support, I offer clarity sessions, one-off clarity sessions, as well as deep dive transformational coaching for those of you who are going through the shedding of a skin. Right now you're in a process of transformation, or you can feel it coming on. I would love to support you as well. The link to my coaching page is also below in the description box. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you to my Sunday chat people. I always have so much fun gathering with you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your likes, for your thumbs ups, for your comments. I love connecting with you, for your shares of this video to more people who love astrology, and for your subscribes. When you subscribe to my channel, when you like, when you comment, this sends a message to the algorithm that then puts my video out to more people who are excited about astrology. So I am so grateful for your support. As promised, I have a free gift for you. If you would like a soothing guided meditation that reconnects you to your spirit, that connects you to your spiritual guidance, to receive a gift from the divine, I highly encourage you to subscribe to my free inspirational updates. Just go to my website, subscribe on my homepage, and you'll receive an instant download of a free guided meditation reconnecting to your spirit. The link to my website is below. And until my next video, my friend, I'm sending you all my love.